Well, yeah, that's how that rolled twice.
We record it.
No, that's gonna be part of our bloopers, man. We're just gonna make sure we're both in it. Alright. I think this is good. Alright, so this is Mike and Rudy. We don't really have a name quite yet. We will soon. We might do a poll on that. But we are here to just have good talks and good vibes. I think I have a little experiment here for us too, so that we're not just talking. I think having a little bit of interest. My name is Michael Rosenthal. I am a network executive and a paraprofessional. I'm working to be a psychologist eventually, and I want to be a wingsuit diver. So currently I'm advocating for autism, and we on the way I do health and wellness, which is kind of what's going on a little bit here. I don't really want to be sharing so much the product as much as I want to show just what the body and you trying to find better health for yourself, right? So that's kind of my take. I also have something hopefully later on down the road called Step It Up Dance, and I think that will be a lot of fun, and that'll be a representation of more autistic work, where we do step aerobics and arts and crafts, and that's really for anybody off the streets, but mostly for autistic. You got to go through some background. We don't want just anybody in there, but it is open to just anybody. So Rudy.
So my name's Rudy. So we're gathered here together with Mike. Mike just gave an intro about himself. I'm currently a college student at the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg. I am studying a master's in child and family sciences, so I'm learning a lot about different behaviors about children and how they behave. I'm really interested in the psychology of the mind of people, just because there's significance about people's personalities and individuality. I think that plays a huge role of who we are as a person. I'm only the first generation to be in college with my family. I am LDS, Latter-day Saint. That's part of my religion belief. Also, I love to hike, play soccer. I'm interested about the nature of the world and how the world functions. One of my goals while studying the master's is to hopefully help people get better through their experiences, resources, and management, provide resources for families that struggle daily with mentally, emotionally. I think providing resources, the best programs that function in a way that is able to help them based on their needs is an important thing that I look forward to. And another thing is I'm a paraprofessional. We work with students as well as we get experience of students that have autism and different learning disorders, and I think that's a rewarding experience because we get the opportunity to have different students and have that one-on-one conversation with them, and it's been a great experience for me just to do that, just because it gives us that central focus. And what we're gonna do a little bit here today, so we introduced a little bit about Mike and a little bit about me. As we do this podcast, as we go along this way, we will add a little bit about ourselves, a little bit, not everything. So that's a little about us, like a little intro. And at this time, we're gonna discuss a little bit about milk and food and have different perspectives on it, and talk about, the pros and cons, and just have an open conversation with me and Mike. And so at this time, I'm gonna give the floor to Mike, and we're just gonna have an open discussion about milk and food.
Yeah, so I have here a little experiment I'd like to do. My company has a good enzyme, and it really doesn't matter what gut health is what I always like to start with when I'm trying to help anybody. And it's so important just to be able to feel better every day and do what you need to normally and think better. You know, if your gut isn't good, your mind isn't good, your heart isn't good, your soul isn't good. It's a real thing. Like everything that we do is passed down, which includes stress, trauma, what we eat. You think, you know, that you know, it also skips a generation. So you want to look at your grandparents and your grandma. And I'm dealing with some of that with my kid having. I don't have many allergies. Right now, what I'm doing is currently. So I have oatmeal here. I showed some of that while he was talking, and we are at ASU College. So, you know, a little open concept for us. Anybody can kind of come in on us. So I think it's kind of fun. If you hear coughing, that's also why. But so I have opened up what is literally just an enzyme. And so while we sit here and have a podcast, like I said, this is just an oatmeal. And this is oat milk. I did not have milk at the moment, so shame on me. I would like to put like another enzyme in there, but I feel like that would be cheating too, because this should break down within like 20 minutes of us talking. And I would really like to throw just something kind of big in there, just to like really challenge it, you know, while we're here kind of discussing over what we are. We were kind of just trying to bring up like what to discuss in general, and I thought it was funny just to discuss milk, and I don't think too many people have too much conversation on milk, but I come from the religion and study. I come from a background of a Christian Nazarene, but I have always been of the Norse and a Satru. And I do study a lot and continue to study, and I see it more as a lifestyle and a way to better represent your body's future, right? You know, you can't do anything and or survive if you're not willing to adapt. And just feeling better is like a part of that. And I was a milk addict. I literally have a problem with milk, I think, to this day. Like even working up to like talking about this, I've only probably been free of milk, I'd say a year and 3 months. And I can count that. It's legit.
Can you describe when were you introduced to milk?
Oh, so that's the thing about this. So I believe that, so the heritage of the people that I come from, it's like milk is really big. And like, even though I've been separated from that heritage, I was brought up in a Christian Nazarene family, and they were white, but they raised me around Hispanics mostly. So I have a Hispanic culture. I can't tell you like what the problem, they couldn't take milk away from me. Like literally there are stories about me as a kid. And if you take milk from me, I throw massive fits. So and that's the thing. So like my mother started me like, and I think like we should all do on children, which is you start them on like 2%, right? Because you don't want them to get fat, and it's a thing, you know. Like you never know how your kid is gonna feel about food, and how much they're gonna take to it, especially if you're a good cook. If you have a good cook in the house, like it's almost good to have a bad cook in the house. I think sometimes my mom was a horrible cook, you know. So there was a big issue with like my mother kept not just food from me, but a lot of just things, and so food was literally kept from me. So being that I was also on Ritalin, I had no appetite. So the only calorie that I had throughout my whole entire life became milk. And it was, again, one of the only objects and things that they couldn't take from me without me. So I was literally going through 6 gallons of milk a week. So there were 7 days in a week, but my mom said that last day I had to last. But she was still buying me 6 gallons of milk a week per month. So, you know, she was going to Costco and Sam's Club, and she really accommodated my milk intake, bro. So from the ages of, I would say from 3 to 18, I was accommodated with milk highly. Highly, yeah. And it was a gallon a day.
So you would say, so the consumption of milk you had was mostly from cows, like dairy?
Oh, yeah.
Dairy.
She wouldn't let me move into whole milk either. And it was like a dream, bro. So it was like you could almost control me with milk. Like, because literally, like she didn't know this, but like, Yeah, she ended up putting like Risperdal in my milk eventually
Yes.
to help
Yeah.
hide it from me. That's how
Yeah.
much I loved milk.
Something interesting about milk, you know, a lot of farmers, they have milk. It kind of becomes a business to them, like farming
Right.
for
I would think
cows,
so.
animals, and all that. You know, a lot back in history, you know, milk has generated as a key product for people, you know, to have high in calcium and nutrition, vitamin D. I kind of feel like milk is an open nutrition that we need in our bodies. It's an important ingredient that we need. I think that's really important to address.
Yeah, it's super hard to get away from milk. I'll tell you, you know, if people want to always laugh.
Mhm.
You remove one addiction, you move on to another. Without a doubt, that happened. For a year, I have lived on cheese pizza since I finally got it, and it took a female to like really help me, like a female that kind of believed in me that like. I don't know. There's only so many people you can witness before they get kind of grossed out at your level of being intake. Like I used to have a female that used to say that I tasted like milk, Rudy, and she could lick my skin and be like, "You taste like milk." It wasn't attractive quality. It was just like strange. But that's how much I was intaking milk. I believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like there may have been powdered milk coming in through my veins. You know.
Yeah.
That's a legit sequence. You know. Yeah, milk is, I think there's a mood and there's something behind that. Like I would Hulk out for milk, bro. Like you couldn't grandma, you know, came into life and was like, I'll get this kid into shape. And it was just the only thing that you couldn't take from me. And it was so like I made choices when I became 18, like one of the major ones that I would never drink 2% again. And 2% became weird to me. I couldn't drink 2% after. And I believe like how milk should work. Like if you have stomach issues, one of the ways you're gonna find out like what comes usually milk is a comforting. So here's the thing. Like you're saying milk is a staple. Well, a lot of people argue against this because, and it is truth. It becomes a mold. Like it's bad for you when you get sick, right? That's the first real knowledgeable like predatorial understanding that you should say, all right, milk is bad for you. You know, we are one of the only creatures that go to milk when, for any reason, right? There are other options, but one of the only ones that did catch me, like it's really important to try any kind of and every kind of milk. I think like the younger you are to try a different kind of milk. Like I'm trying to get my daughter to like just try oat milk and enjoy it. Like I think it's really close to regular milk. It is not. But if you've never tried oat milk and you would like a different option, it's better than almond, and it's way better than soy. You know, I love almond. It's super hard to like love almond, I think. You know, you gotta work without, and then like I'm talking about trying to like lessen your sweet intake too, right? Because they do add some sugars. You know, I'm still learning a lot about milk, but there's a difference between just purely homogenized and then just pasteurized. Like I still have yet to have truly raw milk.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there's these different types of milks in the world and society. I think each milk benefits each person in a different way. I think when it comes to people searching for the best quality milk, I think it's important to have consume it, and how it reacts to your body.
Yeah, you have to consume
that's
it.
the only way you're gonna know if that milk is for you. So I kind of agree on you saying like
no, you never know if it'll settle your stomach or
almond
upset
milk,
you.
lactose-free milk, raw milk,
There's
all
even
types of milk.
There's camel milk. I don't know. So I
can benefit people.
Yeah.
And so, you know, right now here in the audience, you know, there's a lot of, you know, population that use different types of milk. Just an open question here. What do you think would be the best way, say if a person is trying to find the best milk for them, like what things can they do to find that best milk for them or ingredient?
You know, that's a tough question. It's gonna go off your area. That's the sad part. And then your taste buds. Being an adult, I don't know. I like messing with my daughter a little bit and trying to like. She's more on the whiter side where like just kids that don't do so well with spice, you know. And that just makes me kind of sad. But like, cause yak milk does not taste good. You know what I'm saying? But it's really good for you. So like, I don't, and this is like, again, like some people can really achieve some things with their kids. So, again, maybe it's just working at it a little harder, and you've got to try different milks. A milk that I've heard a lot about is camel milk, and I haven't ever had camel milk. Have you ever had camel milk, Rudy?
I have never had camel milk before.
So I just barely learned about this, but it has they have quite a few products that health and wellness products that do soaps. I think even disinfectants, like just they're doing a lot with just camel, and it's really good for autism. And but I've seen it just not work for somebody too. So I don't know. You really have to try a lot of different things. I'm surprised that I'm able to get away and continue to stay. If I didn't find something that tasted good to get me away from the milk, I'd still be sucking on the cow's titty.
Yeah, and speaking of milk, he described another type of milk. I know milk is sold across the country. There's many stores, there's like Walmart, Target, and Fry's, and sometimes it can be hard for the customer to find that milk. So like, is there like other ways to find that type of milk? How is that sold?
That's what I'm learning. So like when the fairs come out, they will bring different animals that you like goat milk is wonderful milk, man. It's really hard to find goat milk, man. I'm trying to do a little more research on just trying to be able to access that too. Mm-hmm. That's a different kind of milk that you got to get used to too. Mm-hmm. And I need to try that one before I even say too much. But yeah, when these fairs come out, and then, so that's super expensive milk that you're looking at, and then so that's a commodity. It is. There are some internet places where you can receive camel milk. Yak milk is also one of those. Whole Foods and some of those are filling up with that. I don't know if yerba. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's
is that a store or what?
No, it's yak milk. That's what they call it. I don't know. I can't say it. I need to look that up too.
Okay, now that so we kind of had a general different categories of milk. We talked about that a little bit. I know you mentioned how you were introduced to milk at a young age. So now I'm going to talk about how I was introduced to milk. So growing up, my mom is a single mom. My mom and dad, they divorced and all that. So I would drink cow milk the whole time, like just 2% milk. That's all I would drink. And as I got older, I realized that I was lactose intolerant, so milk was bad for my stomach. So I would always get like bloating and diarrhea, my bowels, and so I couldn't have dairy products anymore. And so from now in, I've been taking like almond milk and lactose-free milk and lamb milk, goat milk, by the way. We'd introduced goat milk a little bit, but goat milk is good for you actually.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really, really good.
Good milk is good for you.
So there was a time period where you were able to take milk, or you didn't know you were lactose intolerant?
I didn't know I was lactose intolerant.
So you were just dealing with these symptoms?
Yes, for many years. And once I stopped, they got better. And so I think it's important to know that, milk is a need a lot because, because babies need milk when they're born, formula.
Yeah.
So milk is essential for all of us as human beings because without it, our bones are not strengthened. It strengthens our bones.
There's a little conversation I keep I don't like hearing. So I was drinking a gallon a day, Rudy, which is abnormal. Like, so I wanted to push records for when I got in my older age. It was like, all right, so let's test milk, and it was like why do I enjoy this so much? And it was like I went into kind of researching like what milk does inside your body, and it becomes a mold inside your body. There's a buildup. So there's some people it's supposed to be a genetic disformity to be able to drink as much milk as, say, a person like me is and can drink. Still to this day, I can pick up a gallon of milk and want to drink that. And I mean that. Like, so there's a record that you're not supposed to be able to drink milk in a whole gallon of milk in under an hour and not throw up. And I think I could do that. I genuinely think it takes a real love for milk to do that. And it would take several shot glasses. Like, I can't just drink a whole gallon. Like, I think I would start like that. And then I would have to like sit, and so you pour it at that point into like, I think double shot glasses at least. And so I could, after a while, go down and drink those, and whatever was left, like you could even put it in a cereal and I'd still finish it before the hour and not throw up. I think, and I really think, like, I do want to still try this before. Like, I've come pretty far away. Like, it's been a year, and I'd say really 3 months since I've fully, like, milk goes bad in my fridge now. And I think before I stopped this, I thought that was normal. Like, now I'm here, okay, that's not normal. Well, it bothers me, because like now I have milk in my fridge and it goes bad just because my kid.
You were addicted to milk.
I still have an addiction to milk.
So you went way beyond what you needed to drink.
Yeah, it's not normal. But yeah, I think that you can have too much calcium. It is possible to slam.
Much calcium.
You can slam your body with too much milk, and milk is a very high content in calcium.
Yes, it is.
So I think it's at that rate, I'm pushing the calcium rate in my body. Like, I shouldn't. The early arthritis, yeah, it was like scaring me a little bit, because I do that was how much my love for milk, like, I literally had to sacrifice it, because I felt like it was such a great love that it could hurt me. Generally, like, it was a good sacrifice, I miss, it's something I miss every day. Like, I will wake up, because I mean, it was a great calorie. It wasn't. I was abused into having to sort of live off milk. It wasn't on purpose. It was the only comfort food I had, literally, as a human being subjugated to nothing. And that's a separate conversation. But yeah, that is a form of abuse that I have to, a trauma that I have to recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
important. Yeah, because
it's not just an addiction. It was a survival. Because I mean, I wanted to be a bodybuilder. Like, I am an athlete, and so like watching your calorie intake, you do have to sacrifice things that you love. Like, so that is a bit about what this is about. Food is sacred.
Let's go to that direction now. You mentioned like athlete working out. A lot of people go to the gym. They take these protein shakes.
Yeah. And
they need milk with it, or it has some form ingredient of milk.
You have to watch the intake.
How do you think people benefit from doing that?
So that's what I think people miss, is that it is gut health again. So we circle back around from the beginning. It's gut health.
Let's go more in deep with that.
It's a lot of
Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's go with gut health.
The more that you are taking care of yourself, so like I just take a lot of supplements, and I enjoy them when you're fully like in your supplements. So taking not just 21 supplements, part of that, what adds that 24 is that if you're fully working out, you're having creatine. You're having amino acids. That's an extra supplement. And if you don't want to be taking those things unless you're really using them, because they can give you headaches. Some of them have caffeine, and then again they have milk. This is an added calorie that you have to add to your. And then so I like to take on some of the vegan understandings to where we are. So peas. Like I will just take a little bit of peas and okay, I just want to make sure it's still rolling and we're not. So trading your whey content for different kinds of milk, I think is really important. So once you're in, and again, this is coming back to gut health. You're not really taking these to like bulk up, like, so your different styles in your body. There are 3 different body types.
Yeah.
So like I have an extreme body type where it is hard to put weight on this thing. Yes. So occasionally I've been made fun of by my bigger guys, and these are like guys who are 6 foot, and they have an easier time putting on weight in different places. I have a hard time keeping weight on this body. It doesn't matter what so essentially, like I can eat bullshit. I can eat anything on the table, a chocolate. anything, and so that's the problem. Like I have a garbage disposal body. You know what I'm saying? It does not literally matter what I put or what do they call it? Skinny privileged. You know, and I hate to like have to use that, but like it is like but I work hard at keeping this too. You know, like I condition constantly, and I feel like if I wasn't conditioned constantly, the joints. So the high amount of protein and it's useless. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying the other foods you eat don't affect you with milk?
No, so I truly need an intake. You have to really love food, and the medications that I ended up taking have tremendously taken that appetite from me. So it's really hard for me. So, you know, when you're sacrificing these things, you're sacrificing your love for food, right? Again, food is so sacred, you know, like just to take a staple from yourself and then like not have any replacement, you know, is a really big deal, you know, and that's difficult to do to not just, you know, it doesn't just take sacrifice, you know, I'm doing that for myself because I want to live longer. Right.
Yeah, so I would add a little bit about, I think, you know, milk is important, essential, because it has a lot of probiotics, like yogurt.
Correct. Yeah.
Like,
so yeah, yeah.
And it connects to the gut health. And when it comes to gut health, comes self-care.
Yes.
So you're caring your body. So I think milk is really connected with body care.
Yes. Well, so it was interesting. Taking all these supplements really helped just the appetite, right? And so being consistent in something that you may not have even believed in, but being consistent in it and really seeing the results and putting forth. Like I'm telling you, so when you're in that position and you're really feeling that weight and you're in it, like you've got that creatine, you know, you've got the amino acids going for yourself. I don't recommend pre-workouts, but I mean you add that in there too, and you're just you never want to see those non-results again. Like you won't go to the gym the same way. You know, and to be able to upkeep that is tremendous too. You know, you really do need those vitamins. Water is such an important intake. Like, especially when you're taking all these.
Actually, I do recommend pre-workouts. Why is it that you don't recommend them?
Pre-workout? Find me. This is a conversation for another podcast.
A little introduction here.
But there is no pre-workout out there. My company would have one, mind you. That is good for you. You're slamming your body. You're already doing that. So you got to think your amino acids.
I believe pre-workouts do work.
I'm not saying they don't work.
Oh, they work.
I'm not saying they don't work. I think they're fun.
Okay.
And they are not healthy for you.
They're not healthy for you.
Okay. You're already supposed to be so creatine helps you pack that water, right? And that's sort of what you're supposed to be achieving.
I think it's healthy if you get the right one.
No, absolutely not.
The specific one.
There is no pre-workout I can properly even get behind and feel like I'm offering you health.
Okay.
Well, bring to me one, and I'm saying
pre-workout.
No, you gotta look at those pre-workouts. How much caffeine are they trying to slap into you?
Essential to your exercising and minimizing your strength. I
try to make sure that because you will become lazy. There's too much caffeine in that, and you will become addicted to your caffeine. I prefer you to, and this is how I train too. Is I bring to you. Everybody takes their own advice, their own. I want you to do that, but I do bring non-addictive quality products. So I bring health with no addiction, but you see wonderful results. And that's the issue with what I bring to you is there's such wonderful results in the sense that like. That quality is something you really have to feel and understand for yourself.
Yeah, I think I agree that the quality comes through feeling and consuming what you're having. I think that's part of it.
You will crash.
For sure. I agree with that.
When you want to work out consistently, Rudy, you come to a place where you're like that day, like, should I have this pre-workout? And when you need to work out every day, now I preach, you need your rest days. But like even on your rest days, you end up like a little bit of cardio, because if you lounge around, you're a little too much, and you're a real fucking a rat in the gym. Like you want to go for a little cardio, But that's another talk too. Is like how much cardio you're doing in comparison to how big you want to get. I love cardio. I'm a boxer. I do boxer style, so I preach lots of cardio, but slimmer is healthier. So.
What do you mean by slimmer?
As slim as you
like
can
your body
be.
weight?
Yeah.
You like having a healthy body weight?
Your heart's not working as hard.
can
the less fat.
increase your
The more fat you
can
have,
increase your health and proper care
the more your heart's
and more
working.
endurance.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
it
I
is
think that's
extremely hard to
important.
get
That's
bigger
important.
without some good weight on yourself.
It's really
But
important.
again, it's like who can manage their weight the way I have managed. I'm 34, you know, and you're a skinny guy too, you know. The skinny privilege is a real thing, you know. But I mean, I was really trying to challenge that as a grown man. I was like, I'm gonna drink milk, and we'll make it 2%, and it's gonna be the fattest milk, you know. I really saw like, I mean, again, like it's been hard to like really, all right, I have an appetite. So and then that's something to talk about. Like I am a chubby chaser. I chased really big. You gotta have an appetite to be able to keep up with a woman like that sometimes. And I've never won. I've never won, but I mean that's a lot to contribute the fact that I don't have the sacred love for food that everybody should have, and it's not to say that's not there either. You know, it is. It's a lot for me. It's a lot in milk. Like, and I made that choice.
You know, so far we discussed a lot about like milk. You know, it's connected to many spectrums of how it benefits people. I mentioned about probiotics. I just want to say about this. Milk has probiotics that are essential to our body because it gives us good bacteria in our gut. I think that's really important to have good bacteria in your gut because that helps your gut to be healthy. Because your gut can get toxic without that bacteria. So I think probiotics is a necessity with milk. Does that make sense? That they're connected together. I think they're connected because that's how they come from. They come from milk.
So my understanding is before we can really assess that.
Okay.
And you're dealing a lot with this. Your gut already has to be healthy to deal with milk.
Mm-hmm.
Milk is already, like I said, like a foreign object to our body, I think. If you're incorporating it when your stomach is not going to deal with it, it just screws the whole system, right? Like you feel like crap probably for days after you do anything with milk, but you still make the choice to freaking eat that ice cream, right? And that's a funny concept is how much we will decide to make the bad decision. Like milk, I'm trying to preach currently in the new year for myself and I would like everybody else, but like you can only bring people, you can bring a horse to water, you know. But working for yourself is really making the decision to like quit the milk. You know, it was a personal, like nobody, I don't know, a lot of people would see me and like, that's a milk. I truly, you could quiz me. I had a real addiction to milk. I think I would kick your ass for milk. I really truly believe that in my life. Like it didn't matter who you were, like grandma or not, I would kick your ass.
So milk was kind of part of your living, how you.
I would still like to make.
How you perceive milk in your life, because
I still praise milk, yeah.
Because I kind of feel like.
I don't disagree that yes, it is a great staple.
A lot of people, I kind of feel like a lot of people in the world, you know, I think appreciate milk a lot.
I mean, to say like I'm not drinking milk.
Just because milk is a supply that.
No, I praise cows.
It's a necessity.
Yeah, I truly, I was against, like, you know, being raised Christian Nazarene. I feel like
because I believe this is what I think. Milk is really, it's a sacred nutrient that it has been provided for people to have. It's really sacred.
It is.
The reason I say it's sacred, it's because it's a supply that has been supplied for everyone. It's a need. It's a growth in what people can have. It has improved health. It has improved.
There's a lot of science to still be had in milk.
The way people function.
Yeah, I think the way we pasteurize. I really think homogenize it.
Really think milk has benefit different people in different ways.
Yeah.
And so I think milk is sacred. What I mean, it's a sacred way of people looking for it, a sacred way of living.
Yeah.
Having a good nutrition.
Yeah.
Being able to use it as a way to, you know, take care of the body. I think that's really important to emphasize.
I like that you say that. I think milk is very misunderstood. Just the cow itself is misunderstood. You know, coming from that deep Christian background, I did not respect the cow as much as I would drink from its delectable nectar. You know, a lot of people are against that. They feel like it's so terrible, but no, milk does have a staple in life. I think you're absolutely right, as the cow is very misunderstood. But with that said, there's so much behind like what we do to it. I think it is a hormone. It is the baby's hormone of the calf. It's abnormal to whenever we found the need to the cow gives a lot of life. Like it is a creature that is strictly there for predators to eat. It is a natural predator that was there. It has mutated up into this time, you know. But it is a meat-giving creature, and it should be very well respected. I do continue to try to get away from it, and my mood. So that is the thing is like so it is a built-up mold inside of you that can enrage you. It can send you down different syndromes that you wouldn't expect. Like I said, there is some autism features built up in this. So this enzyme, I just want to point out, like I don't have anything to pick it up with right now. I forgot to bring a spoon. I was supposed to do that. But there is some falling apart, and I did throw, and I'll show you guys a little after, but it's not as fallen apart as I'd like, but I have agitated it some and played with it, so. But I see some falling apart of the oat. I've never used oat milk.
And speaking of milk, okay, we talked a lot about different things about milk, how it benefits the body, how it benefits people, how the cow can be misinterpreted. One of the things is I wanted to ask, do you feel that there can be contaminated milk that people drink?
We just dealt with this, you know, that's
contamination, because I feel like a lot of things are contaminated and things we eat.
You know what? I wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's cool. Raw milk is supposed to be so much healthier for you. I do have some friends that really do preach by living next to the cow and having that opportunity to have it right off the glass, whatever. You don't want to do it off the teat, but but I mean, the other end of that is that there is extra microbes in there that could be bad for you. You know, I gotta be honest. This is the one thing I haven't tried is true raw milk. I feel like it should be a different color. I guess after they homogenize it becomes a little whiter. I can't have that'd be a little bit of a guest conversation with, somebody can tell us a little bit more about milk. I do have some friends that know a lot about milk. But I only have my experience, which is, strange to its own. And I think it's interesting, just like, and I had to work really, especially now, like I had quit milk. It was kind of like I got my daughter. She had fallen out of my life, and I had to work to like have her back. And I mean, so we were talking about that before we came up to the podcast, and like, you technically have to have milk in your house for your kids. You can't not have milk, and you can't be like a completely vegan house and not have milk in the house. It's really, really important. That's how much of a staple it is. Like, you can get in trouble with the government for not depriving your kid of milk, which is a strange, like, come on, like what, like.
Yeah, because milk. There's a lot of contamination with different types of foods, but for milk, I feel like there is some contamination just depending on what company is processing it, because everything is processed. Like foods are processed with chemicals sometimes.
Yeah.
Not saying milk has chemicals, but
no, so the hormones that they put in these cows
can definitely impact the way your body reacts to it.
I do eat only grass-fed meat. I would feel a lot better if we've all. Yeah. I don't know if you've looked at the whole food prices on just milk.
The reason I talk about contaminated milk, I was thinking now that we talked about a little bit of milk, we can move into foods now. Like, it can be any type of food. I'll start out first. I'm going to say tomato. Tomato, a couple years ago, tomato was contaminated in many grocery stores, and people couldn't eat it because they were getting a virus from it. were getting a virus from it, and that was impacting the way they ate it. Now it's fixed. Like now it's not that, but like fruits that come from farmers, the fruits that come through the stores,
Yeah.
they're chemicalized. These chemicals on them, and those chemicals can create those viruses, and people are eating that. And so with my experience with tomato, tomato is something I can't have because I have
Acidic?
heartburn and has too much acidic, and so I can't have tomato. But I know tomato has its benefits and it has nutrition. It's delicious. Don't get me wrong, but I know tomato is one of the top foods up there that was contaminated for people in the grocery store.
Yeah, that's
Just wanted to share that.
Yeah.
But I don't know about what do you think about tomato?
No, man, that is no. I vaguely remember that. That's a big deal. No, this goes into hormones as well. What we're putting into the cows, and our food. Hormones. We put hormones into food too, which is terrible. I get my food from a different place, so I don't deal with that as much. I do try to. I don't know. That's hard with tomatoes, bro. I'll get tomatoes from anywhere. And a lot just because of that. Like, they were hard to find for a little while. So the addiction went to pizza, bro. So, like, man, hearing that, I really feel like we have a guest that we really need to bring on, which is Mike. And he has an allergy to just mushrooms. And, like, how detrimental.
It'd be cool to get a perspective on what.
Like tomato, you have acid reflux too, which is just like. I don't know, man. That's terrible.
Yeah. And so the reason I came up with tomato is that's the number one that triggers me. I can't have it. A lot of foods have tomato. The pizza, some soups have it.
I'm such a
fast food sandwiches have tomato.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the.
Does ketchup take you out?
Yeah, I can't have ketchup.
It's not sweet enough.
So a lot of it, tomato affects me, but I know tomato is beneficial for people.
And tomato's a fruit, right?
It's a vegetable.
Is it a vegetable?
Yes, I think so.
I think it's a fruit. I thought it was a fruit.
You thought it? You think it's a fruit?
I think it's a fruit, bro.
Look it up. Let's go. Look it up.
Yeah, we do.
Look it up right now. Right, we're gonna Google this right now, people.
I think.
What's vegetable? What is it? A vegetable or a fruit?
Pretty sure. Tomato, fruit or vegetable?
It can eat either one. Oh, is it both?
No, it's not both.
What is it? What is it? Read it out loud. What is it?
I'm looking it off Wiki. I didn't mean to do that. Maybe we should look at the tomato, or whatever. Is edible berry of the plant Solnum lipcombersicum, commonly known as the tomato plant. The species originated in western South America. Wait, how's it the only? And Central America.
Interesting. Keep reading.
The something word gave rise to Spanish word tomate, from which English word tomato derived. We just want to know if it's.
That's interesting history about tomato, right there, folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty cool. All right, but yeah, we want to know is it a fruit or a vegetable? I'm thinking it's a vegetable.
It says it's a berry, bro, and that makes a lot of sense to me.
Berry, so fruit.
It's classified as a berry.
Very interesting. Okay.
Very interesting.
Okay, keep searching. So
give me I don't want to do this off of Wiki.
While you're searching this, searching it, even though I can't have tomato,
what else tears you up, man?
And what ways you think you can cook tomato? There's many interesting ingredients you can use with tomato. Let's go with that. We'll talk about that in a different episode.
But, man, like tomato, I like to eat tomatoes.
So
bro.
I can't eat it, but I love pizza. I miss it.
Oh, I didn't even know this about you, buddy, and I'd be talking about pizza.
Okay, much. So what things would you cook with tomato? I know pasta's one, margarita sauce, tomato
just being
sauce.
Able to like when you gut some of the I know these aren't, you can do tomatoes, and like if you cook things in the tomatoes with like meat, it's so delectable. So you cut out a lot of the meat, and you utilize that somewhere else, and you use the husk as like a marinade, and like you do your steaks, and then you put your seasonings on that, and then you crisp it with just in the oven like that, or you smoke it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it just
So have you found it? Is it a fruit or a vegetable? We gotta know.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Hold on. Oh, we got a YouTube video. Oh, sorry, that's
it's Jay,
terrible.
and this is my mango tree. It's still small,
We're gonna have to
but
buy a
someday
subscription
it's gonna grow my
YouTube
absolute
video?
favorite fruit.
Alright, what does YouTube
Mangoes.
video saying?
Oh, this
Someone
is the
named
video.
Marianne is curious about fruits and vegetables. Let's give Marianne a call now.
Really?
Hi, Jay.
Hi, Marianne.
So we're adding content
I
to
have a
this.
question.
So this is a
Is it
YouTube
tomato or
video
fruit or vegetable?
about if it's a fruit or
That's
vegetable.
a great question. Think for a moment about all the fruits and vegetables you've tried. There are so many kinds, and they can look and taste really different.
Fiber is what I
But all
preach
that
about your
variety
gut health.
often
Yeah.
gets put into two big groups,
See that
fruits
here. Let's see.
and vegetables.
I feel like we gotta
I'm
go through
guessing you
this.
can already think of examples for the fruit group,
Your,
like maybe apples,
tomatoes are berries.
or my favorite, mangoes. You probably
Mangoes
have
are fruit?
ideas for the vegetable group too, like broccoli or spinach. And maybe you already know which group you'd put tomatoes in. But why is that? We say fruit
It didn't
and
say,
vegetable.
bro. Oh, stop it. Oh, I just messed up, bro. I'm so upset.
Leave it, bro.
Oh, I just messed up. That's funny.
My favorite, mangoes.
What is it?
You
Hold on,
probably
it's
have
being
ideas
rude.
for
Look
the
what
vegetable
it's
group
doing.
too, like broccoli or spinach. And maybe you already know which group you'd put tomatoes in. But why is that? We say fruit and vegetable a lot. But what exactly do those words mean? If we want to figure out which one a tomato is, it would be helpful to know what makes fruits and vegetables different. What do you think? What makes something a fruit? And what makes something a vegetable? Now would be a good time to pause the video and discuss.
I'm not having this argument yet with you. I want to know the answer.
Okay, are
That's
you
fine.
ready?
No discussion.
I'm not sure how you answered, but maybe you thought about how fruits and vegetables taste. You may have
This is about
said that
seeds
most
and
fruits
vines,
taste
Rudy.
sweeter and juicier. And vegetables?
It's very
They're
acidic.
tasty too, but usually not as sweet and juicy. At the grocery store, fruits and vegetables do seem to be grouped by how they taste and how people use them as food. Sweeter fruits are over here, and not so sweet vegetables are over there. And usually, tomatoes are here with the not so sweet vegetables. So a tomato is a vegetable, right? Well,
Victory.
hold
Right
on.
there. I
Let's
told
say
you.
that instead of
I
how
told
they
you.
taste,
What's up, man?
you want to
It
know
wasn't
how
a
fruits
fruit,
and
my
vegetables
friend.
grow.
You gotta get
Something
your
these
facts
fruits
right.
and vegetables have in common is they all come from plants. Plants like my mango tree. Except mine still doesn't grow any mangoes. My neighbor's, though, grows lots. I wanted to know if there was something different about their mango tree. That's when I noticed their tree had all these little flowers. My mango tree doesn't make flowers yet. Could that have something to do with it? I kept
Why does
checking,
nobody wanna
and
answer
over
this
time,
question, right?
those flowers started to change. See how the center is getting bigger and rounder? Well, they got bigger and rounder and riper until I realized, hey, those are mangoes. So mangoes start out as flowers. In fact, most plants with flowers do something similar.
So tomatoes
When conditions are right,
start as flowers?
parts
I
inside
think
the
they do.
flowers change and ripen and make fruits. There's a lot
like a
more to
fruit.
the science, but basically, when you're talking about how plants grow, a fruit means something that forms from a specific part of a flower. So if fruits come from flowers, what
Specific
about
part of a flower?
vegetables? Well, some things
They're
we call
usually the
vegetables
flower.
come from other
They are
parts
the
of
flower.
plants. Like spinach, those are the leaves of this plant.
Right?
And carrots are this plant's extra plump roots.
It's
To
roots.
know what a tomato is, we need to know if it comes from a flower, like a fruit,
a flower.
or if it comes from some other part of a plant,
Plant.
like a vegetable.
Vegetable.
See if you can spot how tomatoes grow in this sped up video. This plant's yellow flowers are starting to change. Look familiar? Yep, that's a tomato. So tomatoes start out as flowers, just like mangoes, apples, and watermelon.
Don't tell
And
me
if
they're
it
gonna leave it
started
like
as a
this.
flower, that means tomato
bro.
is a fruit. If that seems unbelievable, let me show you something else tomatoes have in common.
Okay, here. He said it was a fruit and then a vegetable.
Check it out.
It's a fruit.
I guess it's both. He said it
When
was
the
a
flower
vegetable.
changes from a fruit, it's usually making seeds as well. And those
So,
seeds
He
become
said
part of
vegetable
the
first. You
in
heard
the
him say
comments,
seeds
do you
inside
think
a tomato
tomatoes a
show that
fruit
it's
or
a
a
fruit.
vegetable?
And notice the seeds
That's what
in
we
this
got.
pepper, this avocado, and this
And do you
pumpkin.
love your milk?
That means they
Are
also
you not?
started as
Are you
flowers
lactose intolerant?
and ripened into fruits. These are fruits too. But wait, all of these are
These are
usually
fruits.
in the
Did you
nut
just catch
means
that?
they
What do you think, an
also started
avocado?
as flowers and ripened into fruits. These are fruits too. But
Bell
wait,
peppers are fruits.
all of these are usually in the not so sweet vegetable part of the grocery store. So what
the
are they?
non-vegetable.
Is it tomato
Here we go.
a fruit or a vegetable?
Here we go.
I'd say it's both.
Oh, you
It really depends
Fuck
on
out of here.
when you're talking about how plants
We have a
grow,
good argument. We're
is a
done. We're
helpful
done with
word
this
that
guy.
tells us what-
Okay, let's go back here, guys. So
That's funny.
So as you can see, we were watching a video. If tomato was a fruit, Mike said fruit. I said
it's a fruit.
I said vegetable, but as you can see, it looks like it can be both.
It looks like it can be both.
Which is interesting, actually. That's really mind blowing to me.
That's absolutely mind blowing.
That it's both.
I agree.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, I'm stumped.
All right. Okay, now that we talked about tomato, we just wanted to, just sum up what we talked about and what you would expect in our next episode.
Yeah. What you guys might want from us.
Mike, for one.
If you want to leave in the comments something you would like us to talk about, if you liked what we have brought to you today. Food is not something we're always going to be talking about.
Yeah.
We do have a lot broader ideas. We need to work on our name a little bit. So we might make a poll so that you guys can take part in that.
Yes.
But we did want to leave open for kind of what we personally wanted to apply to our podcast.
Yeah.
I do think it's a little open to who our crowd is and who we gather. Whether he knows it or not, I do attract a high level of autistic people, and as well as supernatural people searching for questions about death, and there's a lot to elaborate in that. I think as we open up and show kind of what we know and what we can bring to our podcast, I think you guys could really enjoy, and there's something a lot to talk about here. I think I really enjoyed today. I do have a little bit of a stutter, so I'll work on things as we get along here, but hopefully you guys are interested, and we can do more possibly if it's worth our while. I think it's going to be a lot of time out of our hands. We're only looking to kind of do this, I think, once a month is what we've discussed. So it kind of depends on you guys and what you think, and whether or not you like our content. So and we just wanted to keep it kind of light. We obviously want to come and just bring light and good vibes, like we said from the beginning. But it might also, like what we might talk about, might be kind of intense at times, where we have some experiences where we go to a ghost house or somewhere we think is haunted, or we've had some experiences. So it won't just be like quiet talk. I do want to also kind of show what has happened here. These capsules are, they don't really disintegrate usually in your stomach. Oh, it is disintegrating. So I'll show that just before we get off. But it hasn't disintegrated as much as I would have thought, just like something sitting here. But how much this has disintegrated from the side I put it in there is interesting. I would have thought more. I didn't mix it. I think 2 would have been good, because you can take up to 4 of the enzyme. So maybe 1 was not enough for this ride in the sense of tearing it up. But you can see like little bubbles. I think it needs a little more time.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a light amount for like helping you digest if you do have those problems, because that is what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So Well, let me see where. Oh,
So yeah, just to add to what Mike said, so the podcast here, our goal is to discuss different perspectives. With me, I am in a Latter-day Saint, I'm a Mormon, so I have a different Mormon perspective of the world. I believe a lot about motivation and positivity, being your best self. So that's something about me. I like to encourage people to find their identity, that they're able to be powerful, they're able to take ownership of their lives, and talking about different perspectives of entrance, one of them is vampires and lycans, supernatural, aliens, the world we live in, politics a little bit, religions, different history, backgrounds about who we are as people and what they believe in, and also just topics. If there's a specific topic you want us to talk about, we would love that, and we will do our best to talk about it. And our goal is to inform the world, inform you guys about how it's unique to have an open conversation with someone, and how doing that can impact others. And so that's the goal here, to encourage others probably to do this as well. But it's our goal to have open conversations and to have an open mind and discussion about things.
yeah, we're not alone. It's really fun not to just talk about history, but your history, why you got there, why you are who you are. And I didn't it is really hard for me to actually talk about the fact that I was a Christian Nazarene. They work to be so perfect. My mother incorporated Lutheran. I ended up just studying Norse and not just falling in love, but finding that my heritage was in this. And it's been nothing but magical, and it's done nothing but great things for me. Obviously, I have it on my hands. But the real reason why I ended up here is always wanting to be an exorcist and a soldier of God. And it's not that I have subsided from that, as the name Michael, I really truly feel that I have gotten to study a lot of the darker agents and understandings of things, which is very important. Catholicism is highly involved in this and so secretive, and I truly do think that it should be a lot more open to the understanding, teaching people what not to be afraid of, that there's just something to study, in whether it is your heritage or just what you're surrounded by, whether you know it or not, right? So it's not such a surprise, but death, autism deals a lot in death, and it's something that they end up dealing with alone a lot. And just by talking about it, I have had people have to tell me that I am a savant, and I don't really like showing that side of myself, but I am a descendant of Vladimir, and there's 700 years of incest, and it's not a joke. It has not been fun to discover that the hard way. I am autistic, and I do find a place with these kids, and I'm able to especially in the behavioral health section, connect with these really wild kids who are truly lost, and it's sad to say that they will never come out of those places, but to be able to connect with them really helps. So to be able to broaden my horizon and do that a little more openly from my own home section rather than from the behavioral health section, because it's really scary to do it from there.
Yeah, so we hope that this podcast was interesting. We talked about milk, and we talked about tomato. That was an interesting topic to talk about today, and realizing it's a vegetable and fruit, which was mind-blowing to us. But this was just a way for us to introduce our podcast and to give different perspectives. As you hear about Mike, a little bit about me. I'm more of the Mormon perspective, Mormonism, and how that has blessed my life, and how that has changed my world of how I see the world. And so with two different views, one with Mike about the Dark Ages, about him being from Vladimir, and and for my side, you know, I believe in Jesus and I believe in the power of God. I think having these different perspectives and having an open discussion makes this podcast really interesting. And so I hope that you enjoy this podcast, and we love to hear your feedback, and I hope you all have a great Friday.
Yeah, leave us some comments, please. I think that was good.